for understanding. Am I touching some wrong buttons, Manchana Beni?
No, Mahodaya, carry on.
Okay. So he says that out of so many people, only some of them will be, out of 1,000 people, only one person becomes the seeker of God, knower of God. And then out of the seekers, out of 1,000 people, only one person will be able to even actually know me in terms of what I am, who I am. So Krishna is telling me only one person, Kachid Mam Veti, only one among 1,000 of the seekers of thousands will be able to only know about me. Which means that one among 1,000 people only will seek, and one among the thousands of seekers only will be able to know what Lord Krishna is. Whether what is the kind of what is God? What is Lord Krishna? That's what Kashchid They'll be able to understand me fully in terms of various glories of me. Okay, so only somebody can be. So these three of these slokas is primarily an appetizer kind of stuff that he has given. That these are what I'm going to give. Fourth sloka onwards, only the main course is being served. Bhumihi, Apaha, Nalaha, Analaha. So the earth, the water, the fire, the Vayu, the space, okay, these 5 Panchabhutas, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara. These 3, 5 plus 3, 8, Itiyam, these things are Me Prakruti. It is my nature. He says that Bhumi, Apu, all these Panchabhutas, they are all my natures. These, my nature. He studied that if you want to understand me, my nature, you have got to understand it from the principles of these 8 things. Me Prakruti, Ashtadaha, Binnaha, 8 different things you have to understand. In these 8 things, you will be able to understand me totally. That's what he's telling. So I was just looking at this sloka and then I made some kind of a notes with which I thought I may talk to the group. So I'll be now sharing the notes with all of you. So what, that will be very easy for us to understand because this is very, very important from the perspective of understanding who God is, what is God. And then the 13th chapter, there's going to be a lot of discussions of these things coming up again. Kshetrajna Yoga, a lot of things will be discussed. So I thought we'll just look into some other information also when we are starting to discuss about this. Okay. You are seeing my screen or no?
Yes, Mahodaya.
You're seeing what?
Yes, Mahodaya.
The sloka only.
PDF is visible.
Sloka screen.
Okay. So now what Bhagavan is telling is that I teach you about my true nature as the source of cosmos. What is that? The entire universe is cosmos. So he says that in the sloka number 4 and 5, he is going to provide a summary of who is Ishvara and knowledge of Ishvara. So we are right now in the sloka 4. Between sloka 4 and sloka 5, he is going to provide a summary of who is Ishvara, who is a knowledge of Ishvara. That is, he is also going to talk about who am I and what is knowledge you need to have about me. So as I told you, Ishvara is not a matter of faith or belief. Ishvara is a reality to be known. So please understand, Ishvara is not a faith or a belief. Ishvara is a reality to be known by all of us. Ishvara is a matter of knowledge. It is not a matter of Shraddha. I need to believe that there is an Ishvara. I need to believe that there is a God. But what Bhagavan says in Ishvara is a matter of knowledge. It is not a matter of faith or belief. It is not, Ishvara is not to be believed, not a belief, and it is not a belief to be believed, but it is a real matter of understanding. He says, do not just blindly believe. You have to have a clear understanding. So if you look at that way, that is the reason why he has very clearly used Jnana Vijnana. He never used the term Shraddha, Shraddhavan Bhajate Yomam. He used in the case of Jnana Yoga. But here he never used Shraddha, or he just did not use the word Vishwasa, that you have to have Vishwasa in what I'm telling you. Please believe me, whatever I'm telling you. He is not doing like that. He says, I am going to give you the knowledge. You have to know this knowledge. This is the knowledge of me as Ishvara. That is the way he is talking about. So what he is talking about is the Prakriti. Prakriti is that, if you look at Prakriti, we all understand Prakriti is nature. Okay. But in this particular term, whatever he is using, Bhumi Rapo Nalo, Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu Mono Buddhi Revacha, Me Prakriti Attada Binnaha, he has told. So he says it is my nature. This Prakriti is my nature. What my nature? It is eightfold nature. Okay. So this eightfold nature of Bhagavan is Vedanta of cosmology. What is cosmology? Cosmology is the knowledge of the universe. What is existing in the universe is cosmology. How the universe was created, who did the creation. If you try to understand all those things, the creation itself, that is cosmology. So Bhagavan here says that these 8 principles are my true nature, and that is Vedanta's cosmology. But now, if you look at the other school of thought also, which we'll be discussing in the 13th chapter, Kshetra Chaitanya Vibhaga Yoga, he says there are 24 tattvas he has talked about. Okay. What are 24 tattvas that they talked about? It is Pancha Bhutas, that is 5 Maja Mahabhutas, that is Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayuhu, Kam. These are the 5 Panchabhutas. Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayuhu, Kam. Yeah, these 5 Panchabhutas, Mahapanchabhutas. Then Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Pranayaha, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittam. These 14 things are taken as, 24 things are taken as the entire thing that you can define anything in the world. That is anything in the universe. So in the tattva that is being taught in the case of other chapter is 24 tattvas have been taken from some other things. But Bhagavan has now reduced the 24 into 8. He has put them in different baskets and then brought it into the 8 of them. That is Pancha Bhutas, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara. Okay. Now, if you look at the entire thing, Bhagavan between the Shloka number 4 and Shloka number 5 is going to further separate all these things into Purusha and Prakriti. Okay. He is going to separate these 8 things, his nature, he is going to be separating that into Purusha and Prakriti, only twofold divisions. Okay. One is Purusha, the other is Prakriti. Whatever we are now talking about is entire thing in the world of matter, which is Prakriti. Okay, now this entire Bhumi, Rapo, Dalo, Dilo, Vayuhu, all these things is called Prakriti. Okay. Now, if you look at that way, Prakriti is the world of matter and world of energy. That is nature in the fundamental and broader sense. It is nature. It is the nature that we are. If you go out, you see everything. You see the nature. Bhumi, Apo, Dalo, Vayuhu, Kam, all these things we see. It's nature. And apart from that, we also have individuals in ourselves, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, etc. So, here, what he is telling is that the entire things, whatever we have is Prakriti, that is nature, which is made into this. Plus, we know the nature. We are aware of the nature. Bhagavan is aware of the nature. Okay, so we are also aware of these things. So, what is known is nature. The entire universe is called as the nature, Prakriti, and that is all known to all of us. And all of us, how do we know it? In our awareness, in our consciousness. So that consciousness that we have, with which we are able to know all these things that in the cosmos, that is called Purusha. So Purusha is the knower. Then the entire universe or cosmos is the known. What is known is Prakriti. The person who knows it is going to be called as a Purusha. Okay. So that is what he's telling. Consciousness, they call it as consciousness, they call it as Chit, they call that as Chaitanya also. Okay. So the entire universe, whatever we see, is going to be seen. Whatever you need to understand in the entire thing of ourselves is, you need to understand that as Purusha and Prakriti. The entire world of matter and energy is Prakriti, and the consciousness with which everything is revealed. So we are able to know it only because of Prakriti, our own consciousness. So the consciousness that we have in us and the consciousness because of which the entire universe is created, both of them are same. Okay, so that is the consciousness. So Prakriti is the entire cosmos and Purusha is the consciousness because of which we are able to be aware of the entire things. Okay. So consciousness is not something that is there in the universe. It is the essence of you knowing. For example, you are having a knowledge. Is knowledge, whatever you have, is something that you will be able to weigh and say, this is my knowledge? It is not at all going to be a thing that can be known by stula. It is not a stula. For example, you are having a thought, you are having a lot of things going, or you are going a mind. Is mind a thing or not? Actually speaking, it is a thing. But it is not a thing that can be identified and shown. This is the mind. No. Your mind is something absolutely sukshma. Okay. Mind is sukshma. The brain may weigh around 2.5 pounds, full of spongy matter. But the mind is, you don't know what is mind. Mind is a thing. So when you look at the entire Prakriti, the Prakriti consists of Stula. Stula is all these kinds of Bhumihi, Apaha, Analaha, Vayu, all these things are Stula. Sukshma is, the mind is Sukshma. The Buddhi is Sukshma. Chitta is Sukshma. Memory is Sukshma. Ahankara is Sukshma. So if you look at that way, even the Prakriti that we have, which we know, is consisting of Stula as well as Sukshma. Why I say mind is Sukshma? Why is mind is Prakriti? Because I know my mind. I know my thoughts. When I know my thoughts, when I know my mind is also something known. That means it is Prakriti. So Prakriti is supposed to be the known, which is a Prakriti. The one who knows about it is a conscious, awareful, conscious being. He is the knower and he is the Purusha. Purusha is going to be same, whether it's my Purusha in me or Purusha in you or Purusha, Bhagavan is all same, the universal consciousness. So we have to have a very clear understanding that this is Prakriti and Purusha. So if you look at that way, the 24 aspects of the world that we saw can be also brought into a Stula as well as Sukshma. Both of them constitute these 24 because Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta, whatever we have is all Sukshma. So that is also to be understood that Sukshma is also Prakriti. Mind is Prakriti. Mind is non-physical. It exists because you experience it. Mind exists. You are able to experience it. You are able to know about it. So mind is also one of the parts of the Prakriti. So when you look at it from that perspective, Bhagavan says that there is these 8 ways that by which the cosmos has been made. It's all my Prakriti. He says it's me. It is mine. My Prakriti means it is my nature. It is not that Bhagavan is not telling, oh, Bhagavad see, this is mountain. He's not teaching me. He says that it is me. I am that mountain. It is my nature is the mountain. My nature is the Prithvi. My nature is fire. My nature is water. So anything that you have in the entire universe, whatever you see as matter and energy is my nature. Look at the way he has made a statement. He is my nature. And not only that, whatever you know as a mind, chitta, mano, buddhi, ahankara, it is also my prakriti. So he says that the cosmos, the universe, can be divided into 8 divisions. That is, the entire 5 Panchabhutas, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara. So that is my Prakriti. That is what he says. So in the same thing, he is going to be talking about in the 13th chapter, in the Kshetra, Kshetrajna Yoga, Vibhaga Yoga. Kshetra is field of experience. So what do we do? What is our field of experience? Our field of experience is the entire world around us in the waking state. And through the mind, we experience the dream state also. Sleep state, it's a different thing. We can discuss it later. So our field of experience, whatever is coming, is called Kshetra. So if you look at that way, that is a Prakriti. Anything that is there in the field of experience is called a Prakriti. Anything that is known is Prakriti. The knower of the entire Prakriti is a Purusha. So Bhagavan says, Prakriti, these 8-fold divisions of the cosmos is my Prakriti, my nature. So that is what is the meaning that is given in this particular shloka. Okay. So this is very, very important to understand because we will be building upon that. Okay. Is that all okay? Or I was making it more confusing?
No, sir, it is
No,
okay.
sir, it is fine,
Mahadeva.
sir.
It
Okay,
is
sir.
fine, Mahadeva.
Okay, okay. So next,
The screen is tilted, Mahodaya.
Well, yeah, I'm just, I don't know what happened to my, how do I start? Resume share. Yeah,
Now
is
it's
now
fine.
okay?
Now it's fine. Now it's fine.
Okay.
Usha
So,
Srinivasan Bhagini.
one second, I'll just make the full view. So, Bhumi Apaha Nalo Bhumihi Apaha Analaha Vayuhu Kam Mano Buddhi Ahankaraha Me Prakruti Attadha Binna. They are made into eightfold divisions. Okay. Now, in the next sloka, he is going to further take it up. What does he say? Come. Somebody is coming.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
Yes, sir.
Apareyamitasvanyam
Apareyamitastvanyam. Apareyamitastvanyam.
Prakrutim vid Prakrutiu vidhi me param.
Prakrutim vidhi me param. Prakrutim vidhi me param.
Apareyamitasvanyam Prakrutiu vidhi me param.
Apareyamitastvanyam. Prakrutim vidhi me param. Apareyamitastvanyam. Prakrutim vidhi me param.
Good. Next.
Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bhagini.
Jiva bhuta mahabaho
जीवभूतं महाबाहो जीवभूतं महाबाहो
Yayedandaryate jagat
ययेदन्धार्दये जगत् ययेदन्धारये जगत्
Jiva bhuta mahabaho Yayedandaryate jagat
जीवभूतं महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत् जीवभूतं महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्.
Good. Next.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
Apareyamitastvanyam Prakrutiu vidhi me param.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini. Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतौ विद्धि मे पराम् अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतौ विद्धि मे पराम्.
Good. Next.
Veena Fanishri Bhagini.
नमस्ते महोदय
Bhuta mahabaho Yayedandaryate jagat
जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत् जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्.
Good. Next.
Lalita Ramachandran Bhagini.
First line 2 times.
Yes, महोदय. अपरियमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिर्विद्धि मे पराम् अपरियमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिर्विद्धि विद्धि
Not able to hear anything.
पराम्.
Okay.
Hello?
Next. Yeah, there was some kind of audio disturbance in between.
Okay.
Okay. Anupama Bhatt
Yeah.
Bhagini.
Second line 2 times.
जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत् जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्.
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bhagini.
First line 2 times.
Apareyamitastvanyam
प्रकृतिर्विद्धि मे पराम् अपरेयमितस्त्वन्या प्रकृतिर्विद्धि मे पराम्.
Good. Next.
के ललिता भगिनी.
Second line 2 times.
Yes, sir.
जीवभूतां महाबाहो य एदौधार्यते जगत् जीवभूतां महाबाहो य एदन्धार्यते जगत्.
Okay, good. Next.
कृष्ण पावनी भगिनी.
Both the lines.
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिर्विद्धि मे पराम् जीवभूतां महाबाहो यैर्धन्धार्यते जगत्.
Good. Next.
लीना मेहुल दामा भगिनी.
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिर्विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्.
Good. Next.
गुरुमूर्ति महोदय.
Yes, sir. अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिर्विद्धि मे पराम् जीवभूतां महाबाहो ये दण्डायते जगत्.
Good. Next.
शांति बद्री भगिनी.
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिर्विद्धि मे पराम् जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेधन्धार्यते जगत्.
Good. Next.
लक्ष्मी बीवी भगिनी.
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिर्विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्.
Good. Next.
श्री लक्ष्मी भगिनी.
Yes, sir. अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्.
Okay. One more person. Prakrutiu Vidhi. Yeah. If you can tell. Prakrutim is correct, but
शीला
Prakrutiu
शिंदे भगिनी.
can be a better, when you are chanting it.
Shall I repeat, sir?
Yeah, you can repeat it once again.
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे पराम्. Is it right, sir?
Vidhi me param tiu.
प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे पराम्.
That is way.
Is it right, sir?
Yeah.
प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे पराम् जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्.
Good. One more person.
शीला शिंदे भगिनी. Not audible. Okay. वीना फानिश्री भगिनी.
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्यां प्रकृतिर्विद्धि मे परां जीवभूतां महाबाहो जीवभूतां महाबाहो ययेदन्धार्यते जगत्.
Okay. So now when you look at the earlier Shloka, he said that Bhumi, all these Panchamaha Buddha, Mano Buddhi Ahankara, this is my nature, Prakruti Attada, which has been divided into 5 natures. That's what these are divided into my nature, which has been divided into 8 divisions. That's what he said. Okay. Now, what he is telling in this Shloka is Apara Iyam. Iyam Apara means whatever I told you in the earlier Shloka, that 8-fold nature of mine, my Prakriti, it is a lower Prakriti. Iyam Apara. Iyam means that this is lower. It is my lower nature. So he says that the entire cosmos that we see, whatever is in the field of our knowledge, whatever we see, the entire Jagat, okay, the entire Jagat is lower nature. This is apara yam apara. This is lower nature of me. Yeah. Anyam prakritim vidhi me param. There's another prakriti available. Please understand that prakriti is my nature, higher nature. Okay. There's the one is apara prakriti, para prakriti. So this is a lower nature. Whatever I talk to you about is eightfold divisions of the nature or cosmos, and anyam prakriti vidhi me param. My nature is also a para prakriti, which is a much higher than that. That also you should know. Okay. What is that? Jiva bhutam. Jiva bhuta means what is that which provides sentience to all of us. Now, if you look at that way, all of us are having a life force within us. We are having a life within us. Okay. If you look at that way, the body is composed of all these elements. Whatever we have seen in this eightfold divisions of the universe that we saw, which is again coming from the 24. 24 has been made into 8. That is Pancha Bhuta, Pancha Indriya, Pancha Karmendriyani, Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Pranaha, Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. This is the 24 things that is there in the entire universe, where we are also a part of that. So if you look at us, we have been made out of these 24 as a body mind complex. But there is something else which is providing us with a life. There is something else which is within us, which is the consciousness is there. How I am becoming an aware, how all of us are awareful being, conscious being, is a consciousness. The presence of awareness, in the presence of consciousness, a conscious being or an awareful being is the one that is going to enliven. This sentience is given only by that awarefulness in us. Okay. So Bhagavan says, Jiva Bhutam, that is the sentience, that is consciousness, that is in that everything that you have, Mahabhava Arjuna, yeah, Yayedam, Yaya, what is that? Yeah, Yaya, by which Yaya idam dajite jagate, by that consciousness, the entire universe is being sustained. So now he is telling that it is just a kind of material world that we saw, material energy world that we saw, but there is something which is the higher thing about me, that is, one is apara. The apara is the lower order of my nature. The higher order of my nature is para prakriti, and the para prakriti is the sentinel that with which all the living beings are able to have awareful being. We become awareful being because of something. That something that is existing in all the living beings is me. That is Bhagavan. So that's whatever we have in our own self, which makes us as a awareful being, is Bhagavan. So he says that Jiva Bhutam, Yaya, idam jagate daryate, the entire universe which is sustained by that, it is my prakriti, it is my higher prakriti, para prakriti. So in the two slokas that we have talked about, he has talked about two prakritis. One is apara prakriti, which is only the entire cosmos, the entire universe consisting of world of materials and buddhi, manas, everything that is known to you in your field of experience, what is known to you, everything is all apara prakriti. And beyond this, you come to know about it because of consciousness. I am able to know that this is a computer. Computer is known to me, and I am the knower. The knower is the higher purpose, higher one, consciousness, awareful being. And Bhagavan says that I am the awareful being. Consciousness is me. Consciousness is the universal consciousness because of which we are able to see the universe. Otherwise, we will not know. So there's a consciousness which is going to be much superior to that of the universe itself. Because of the consciousness only, we are able to see the universe. Because of your awareness and your awareful being, you are able to know about everything. You know everything because of your awareness, your consciousness. And that is para, that is superior. And that is what he says, that is my para prakriti. Jiva bhutam, vidhi me param jiva bhutam. And because of that, the entire universe is sustained. So this is a very strong statement Bhagavan has made. So we have to understand that there is para prakriti, apara prakriti. There are two things. Para Prakriti is the higher order of consciousness and awareness that we all have, including Bhagavan. And Apara Prakriti is the entire cosmos that we have, the entire world that we have, world of creation that we have is Apara Prakriti. So that is what Bhagavan has told in this particular sloka. Now, I'll go to the next sloka. I don't know that we have time. We'll take it up. Yeah.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
महोदय
एतद् योनीनि भूतानि
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि एतद्योनीनि भूतानि
सर्वाणीत्युपधारय
सर्वाणीत्युपधारय सर्वाणीत्युपधारय
एतद् योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय
Good. Next. Aham Krishnasya Jagatah.
Usha
Next.
Srinivasan Bhagini.
Aham Krishnasya Jagatah.
अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः
प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
Good. Next.
Leena Mehul Dhamma Bhagini.
एतद् योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय
Good. Next.
Anupama Bhatt Bhagini.
अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
Good.
Lakshmi Bibi Bhagini.
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
Good. Next.
Sheela Shinde Bhagini.
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bhagini.
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तदा
Good. Next.
Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bhagini.
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीभ्युपधारय अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तदा
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
One more person, then we'll go to the meaning of this.
Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
Yes, sir. एतद्योनीनि भूतानि सर्वाणीत्युपधारय अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः प्रभव प्रलयस्तथा.
Good. So this particular shloka is a very important shloka in terms of creation. Okay. Now in the earlier two shlokas, he was talking about apara prakriti and para prakriti. So you understood the entire world of the knower and known, kshetra, kshetrajna, the entire thing we have understood. Now he says that etatre yonini, with those two things, apara prakriti and para prakriti, only with those two things, budhani sarvani upadharaya, please understand that the entire creation that you see, it's all only because of these two things, para prakriti and apara prakriti. You have to have these two things. You can, if you look at the body will definitely be coming under apara prakriti. Chaitanyam inside us will be para prakriti. So if you look at anything that you have in the creation, it is all going to fall under the two prakritis, para prakriti, which is the higher order, and apara prakriti, which is a lower order. So he said it is a source. Source means etad yoni means source. Source or cause for everything that you see in this universe. It's all because of these two things, apara prakriti and para prakriti. And aham, I am the creator. Aham krishnasya jagatah prabhavah. The entire jagat, Krishna means entire jagat, jagatah, universe. Prabhavah, creation is done by me. Aham krishnasya jagatah prabhavah. Aham krishnasya jagatah pralayah. Tata, the same way the way I create, the same way I also will be able to dissolve the entire universe. So he says that I am the person who is the creator of everything that you see, the creation or projection or whatever it may be, and I am the one who is going to be responsible for the pralayam. Okay, and he has also told aham is that consciousness, the consciousness apara prakriti. And apara prakriti is also the jivatma's atma, or the consciousness. So the consciousness is the only thing by which the entire world of creation takes place. And the consciousness is the same thing in which the entire creation goes back into dissolution. And it's all done by Bhagavan. Krishna says, I am the one who does that. He is now Avatara Purusha. He has just come into the world as an Avatara Purusha, but he says, I am the God, I am the creator of the entire thing. So this particular shloka requires some more understanding because there is a lot of things. One, the easiest way is to understand that there's two prakritis out of which the entire world is created, and the entire world came out of Bhagavan, and the entire world will dissolve into Bhagavan. So to understand this concept of how things get created and how things can get dissolved, okay, we have to understand that for making anything, I think we have discussed it once also earlier, but I'll take two more examples. One thing is supposing you have a pot. A pot requires a material that is upadana karana, material cause, and intelligence karana. There's an intelligence required. Only when the intelligence is put along with the material, you have a creation. The creation is for pot is that you have got a material cause of clay, intelligence cause of the potter, and the pot is created. Okay. Now, if you look at a pot, the pot fully does not represent creation by Bhagavan, because in the case of pot, the pot which is created has become different than the potter. Potter does not create the clay. Potter has go to the river bed and then get the clay to make the pot. So if you look at that way, we cannot fully understand that the potter and the pot, the intelligence, the material cause are clubbed together to have the creation. But here what happens is that the creator is different from the creation, and the creator is different from the creation, and then the created, when it is going to dissolve, of course, the sattvastu in that is clay. When the pot ultimately breaks, it gets back into clay, but it does not get back to the potter. It gets back into the clay. Upadana karana is where that will get back into it, but the potter is now independent in terms of the pot. Okay, that is the first thing that we need to understand. That is one creation we have to understand. The second creation, that is because here the created and the creation are both different, but we have understood what is creation. Creation requires upadana karana, material cause, and nimitta karana, intelligent cause. These two causes are required for any creation. That is the understanding of we need to have by the potter example. But now we understand that the pot and the potter are two different things, separate things. Now, when you look at the Mundaka Upanishad, they are given a wonderful example of I think Urnanabihi is something they are told. If you look at Yata Urnanabihi Chujate Grinnate Cha, that is the kind of vakyam they have in the Mundaka Upanishad. If you look at a spider, the spider is able to create the gossamer with which it makes the beautiful web. So the spider is there. The potter had to go to the riverbed for getting the clay, whereas in the case of a spider, the spider is able to create the gossamer in itself and then make the creation of the web by itself. So here you got a creator who is able to have the material cause is also the spider, the intelligence cause also is a spider, and whatever is the output the created is the spider web. And then Yata Urnanabihi Stujate, how it produces, and Grinnate. What happens is that the spider web, after some time, the spider will go and then it will just take everything inside itself. It will just go and take the entire web that it has created, it will suck it back inside that. So it is like Prabhavaha, creation has been done by the spider. Pralayaha, it is also being taken back by the spider into itself. So this is one particular case where it is much more closer example in terms of creation and dissolution. The spider, the material cause is itself, the intelligence cause is itself, and the created is the spider web, and it is able to take it back inside its like prana, that is pralayam as well as prabhavam. Both of them are taken care of it. But now there's only one small issue in this particular case is that when there is a time when the spider is separate from the creation. The creation is a web. Spider can be somewhere away. It is not a part of the creation. So spider is also possible that though it is his creation, the creation and the creator can be different. So there is still some small flaw in terms of this example also. So the third example of what is being talked about is a dreamer in the dream. If you look at a dream, in the dream, the dreamer is able to project, and then the entire creation of the dream is by the dreamer. The sustenance of the dream is by the dreamer. Dissolution of the dream is by the dreamer. And in the absence of the dreamer, there is no dream, right? So these are the classic examples in terms of creation, sustenance, dissolution, and in all these things, the dreamer has to be physically also be there. So this is the closest example where the created, the creation, and the material for the creation is always with the creator. Okay, that is the way we have to understand Bhagavan also. Maybe we'll take it up tomorrow in a detailed manner of the same thing. But Bhagavan, what he is trying to tell is that Aham Jagataha Krishnasya Prabhavaha. I am the one who creates this entire Jagat, and I am the one who is able to withdraw this Jagat. Now we need to understand who created Bhagavan. That we have to talk about it. Maybe we'll take it up in the next class. Okay. So these are all very beautiful shlokas that has been compiled in terms of trying to understand what is cosmos, what is human being, what is God, and what is the way we have to understand God. And Bhagavan himself is now teaching in the case of these shlokas about how to understand himself. He says, I'm not asking you to have Shraddha, but I'm giving you knowledge to understand the Ishvara. That is what is the top. So we'll take it up in the next class. We'll further build up on the same shloka. I'm building on more, putting a lot of time in this because this will be very, very handy when we are going to discuss the 13th chapter. Is going to be talking about Kshetra, Kshetrajna, which is knower and known. Here, entire chapter is only dedicated for the knower and the known. And all these principles that we are talking about now, Jagat, Prakriti, Apara, Para, all those things will start coming very handy when we start discussing those shlokas in the 13th chapter. So I thought it is essential to dwell on these kinds of subjects slightly longer. So though it might be somewhat Sometimes it might be boring also, but still I thought it was worthwhile investing this amount of time in understanding this particular conceptual understanding of Bhagavan, Jagat, Parashakti, Aparashakti, consciousness, awareful being, all the Bhumi, Rapo, Road, Ilaha is all very important to know in terms of really understanding what Bhagavan is telling. He has put it very beautifully. And I would also suggest that all of you, if you can find, some of you, if you find time and interest, you purchase this book. It's a very small book. It's around 78 pages by Chinmaya Mission. And it is called Tattva Bodha. Adi Shankaracharya has compiled a very small book to ensure that the beginners of Vedanta understand some of these Vedantic terminologies very well. So he talks about the Jagat, he talks about the cosmos, he talks about the body, Sthula Sarira, Sukshma Sarira, Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Avastha Traya, waking state, sleeping state, all those kinds of things, what you want, Maya, Mithya, everything is covered in this. If some of you are interested, if you take this particular book and then go through it, don't rush it through. Spend at least every page you take some amount of time to understand what is being written. It will provide you with a very wonderful understanding of the Tattva, the Bhagavad Tattva, as well as understanding these kinds of Vedanta topics that we are doing. It's Chinmaya Mission's Tattva Bodha by Swami Kejomayananda. It's a wonderful book. It's available on Amazon also, or if somebody is close to Chinmaya Mission, they can buy it. Or Giri Traders also has got this book. It's a good, very good book worth processing and reading slowly. Okay. With that, we'll close I'll just read the chant of few slokas and we'll close. Bhumi nalo vayuhu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakrutirashtada apareyamitastvanyam prakrutiu viddhi me param jiva bhuta mahabaho yaye jangadyate jagate etat yonini bhutani sarvani upadharaya aham krishnasya jagatah prabhava pralayastata om purnamada purnamidam purnat purnamudashyate purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vashishyate om shanti 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 harihi om Shri Gurubhyo Namah harihi om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಮಹೋದಯ.
Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಮಹೋದಯ.
Thank you.
Dhanyavada, sir. Sir, can you kindly text that 24 tattvas, sir?
Yeah.
Yes,
We're
sir.
talking about it in nothing is same. I'll tell you. Pancha Mahabhutas. Okay. Bhumi, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kam. Okay. Pancha Bhutas. Then it is Pancha Karmendriyani. We've got 5 Karmendriyanis. Then Pancha Jnana.